In this design secret, we show you a not so well-known with rule setting from Altium Designer. Let us assume you have done all the routing on your board, and now all what's left is the last design rule check. So we run this option under the menu Tools, Design Rule Check, and we do not find any violation. However, after having a manual check, what's always recommended, we notice some little things we might not want to be in our design. For example, there's clumsy connections, which seems not to be right according to our understanding of a proper connection. With the use of this additional option in the with rule, we can detect such connections and mark them as violations. This increases the reliability of our PCB, as production-related or stress-related failures can be reduced easily. So how could such a connection happen in the first place? Imagine the following situation. You route a track and it's placed slightly in front of the target object. So the object is just touched to the fine electrical connection and the routing task is fulfilled and we do not get any DRC message. So the general track width is okay. Also, the electrical connection is fulfilled. Just the width of the connection is not what we want and not checked by any standard rule. Finding such connections manually is very time-consuming. Because of this, we will now create some rules to find such connections easier. Having a look at our design rules under the option Design Rules, in the subfolder Routing Width, there's the standard option checked, Check Tracks Arcs, Minimum Maximum Width Individual. This rule setting checks the general width of the signal track object and reports if they don't fit to the minimum maximum values. Besides this standard track check, Altium Designer includes another option to check connected track ends. Therefore, we create a new rule with highest priority, which checks the shown track connection width of 0.2 mm, and we activate the secondary option Check Minimum Maximum Width for physical connected copper, in brackets tracks, arcs, fills, pads and vias. The following design rule check is proving our new rules and we get a violation shown for this track. The more complex and bigger a project gets, this can take its time. The standard color for a violation is green, and we can see now, as expected, one of our track ends is marked as a violation. But looking at our other connection, we see no violation display. A closer look with the option Report Measure Distance shows us that this connection is not lower than our previously defined 0.2 mm rule setting, and we are not causing any violation at all. What's lacking at this point? Going back and looking at the general width of the old track shows us a value lower than the new needed value of the rule. A check on a track which is generally lower than its own width will result in no error at all, because if it would be detected, we would have countless error messages. To demonstrate this behavior, I will create a new rule with the highest priority and change the value with the new bigger parameters and the secondary option checked. So we type in the 0.3 mm and we activate the check minimum max width for physical connected copper also for this rule. The online DRC shows us now no error message for the small track, but for the big one. To get both connections reported, we now have to work net or net class related. For this, I go back to the rules by pressing the shortcut DR, and I change the scope of the rule to the needed net class, so we now have a valuable check for the big track, and the little one is not affected by this rule. Finally, the online DRC shows us both violations as expected. So we have the big track checked by the net class related rule and the little track checked by the general rule. So we've come to the end of this design secret. We hope you liked it and have fun when working with Altium Designer.